And now, welcome to a fresh session of D&D Rescue at Raxis. Last time the party saw a delightful show. It was full of frills and spills and horrible trauma that they've tried to repress deep inside them. They saw different sides of themselves that are being publicly viewed and enjoyed by the masses. They also returned with merch, which is always important. Then one of them had far too much, the rest just had a little bit, in gradually declining amounts. The dwarf was tanked. The kobold was fucking rat-arsed. Paralytic, as they call it. And then the rest were just sort of more emotionally scarred or thoroughly entertained. They came back to their hovel, the great sturdy house. They set up in a house in the house, in Cornelius's tiny cabin. Nighttime passes, for once not standing on watch, feeling secure in these 8 walls. 4 of them magical. Morning starts to reveal that yes, it's still a shithole, this place. It's clean, but it is empty, it is scuffed, it is worn out. And the magic slowly fades as a new day dawns in Raxis City, and your first morning as inhabitants, as residents. Oh yes, Zarzul, Constitution check.
Okay.
You have a level of exhaustion, you are hungover like hell, but you figure, if you take it easy for about half the day or so, it'll pass. But you are waking up rough as fuck. You
One
feel...
second.
Yep.
Can I cast guidance on myself for that check?
It's only on skill checks, not saves. Bless is what does it for saves. Yep. But yeah, you're feeling incredibly dried out, rickety, everything hurts, especially the head. The head is... It's like there's many tiny kobolds trying to dig their way out in different directions. And the raspy breath of every living inhabitant in the cabin as it vanishes is getting to you. More importantly, the sun has risen. It's coming through some of the windows that have slightly askew boards. And you don't have the hood this time. You've chosen to keep it off.
Someone turn off the sun. It's too bright.
I think that's going to be difficult. Also, good morning.
Good morning, friend.
Are you still drunk?
No, not yet. I may need to be. Here of dog and all.
Yeah, as Wolfgang rolls over, he looks kind of a little worse than he did before because the hair is starting to grow back, but it's now just little pinpricks instead of just the smooth skin.
Oh well.
Have
Anyone
you
got
ever considered... Go on.
Yes, go on. Anyone got a spell that could help with that? Okay, whoops.
I don't think I can help Wolfgang, and I don't think I can help you either, come to think of it. Have you considered drinking less?
No.
Have you tried considering drinking some water?
Yes.
As you two look down at him, this diminutive little figure, anywhere where he's not armored or clothed, it looks like the scales are ready to fall off him.
I'm back.
Let me do a double check to see if there's anything I can do to help you. No. You're on your own here. I don't have cure hangover.
I mean, lesser restoration, I'd let it count.
Do I actually have that on my thingy? I do, but All right. I'll help you out here.
And so a second level spell is used to cure the excess of the kobold. You feel yourself returning to strength. It's nice. It's still too bright, but the sounds are pleasant again. Your head feels compacted and in shape, and you still feel like you're desperately thirsty, but you know, it doesn't feel like if you have one, everything else will rise up from within. You do
Oh,
feel
that
good.
feels much better, friends. Thank you so much.
Now, for real this time, don't drink as much. This is the second time we've had to carry you home.
I shall try.
Do you even remember what hats you bought?
I bought the bowler. The nice little bowler hat. Somebody wouldn't let me have the other one. Can't remember why.
As you look beside you, you do find that the other hat is there. It was bequeathed upon you to keep you quiet.
Ooh. Is it safe wearing this hat?
It's
No.
empty, but it still has the smell of drunken kobold breath.
We'll just figure out whichever one suits you most.
How big's the brim on this nice
It's a
larger hat?
It's a child size, so it's still a little awkward. You do have a narrow head, but you know, a little adjusting, it could fit.
I'm just wondering if the brim's big enough to shade from the glare, as it were.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still gonna have your sunlight sensitivity, but that's because you're a creature of the dark.
No, I think I'll stick with the little bowler hat for the moment.
It sits pretty tidily upon you.
And Canese breathe a sigh of relief. So, what are people's plans for today?
I'm going to church at some point.
Oh, what for?
The high priest wanted to see me. Something about my religion. That and
Right.
I want to find a place to buy a coat.
Do you
And
want me to
that's-
tag along in case somebody decides that they need to ply you with more booze and steal all of your coin again?
There's a point I'm broke again. Somebody
That-
stole my coin.
That's why I'm asking. This is the second time. Also, why I'm advising you don't drink anymore.
Oh, I know who stole it this time, at least. Just they seem to have done a runner. Siegfried took my money.
I mean, he's not gone. He's probably just having a sleep. And considering you're now sober, he would give you your things back. He was only keeping them to protect you from getting robbed again.
Okay.
Because that's an actual risk with you.
Well, I think I will figure out if there are any libraries in the nearby area. I'll do a little study.
I perk up and say, I changed my mind. I think I'm going with you.
No, someone needs to follow him. You follow him.
I'm better in libraries.
You're also more not. You're also more the part of the church and cloth area.
She does not look happy at all about this.
Shouldn't you two go about securing furniture for our new home?
I can't get furniture and take him to the church. And I don't think we want to take Zarzul to go get furniture.
Tell you what.
Ta-da! As Droop stands beside a table that is glowing faintly of magic. It's only for an hour and I can only do one, but we have furniture.
I think
Thanks, Drip.
Castalia meant something a little more permanent. But thank you anyway.
It is appreciated, Droop. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think
It's
that leg's a
getting
bit
quicker.
wobbly.
Here, I have an idea. Cornelius, why don't we get the furniture and do the library at the same time? Because we can do both of them. And then, who wants to volunteer to go with Zarzul? And I'm looking at Castalia.
Why are you asking volunteer if you're just going to look at me, the only one who hasn't said they're going to go with him? I think it's pretty obvious.
I'd rather do that than just voluntold. Because then there's an
I
option.
wish you had voluntold because this just makes me think you think I'm an idiot.
I don't think you're an idiot.
That's
I think-
my job.
I think this is Rain's attempt at being polite.
There you go.
It's a start.
As you have this conversation,
But-
there comes a knock on the door.
Hello, friend.
And as the door opens, you see Jeffries, your landlord, with 3 people in armor with weapons, but they're standing at ease. Ah, hello there, new tenants, yes. Oh, there's a lot of you. Yes, little bit of business in the morning, you see. It turns out yesterday when you rented out, that was the end of the business week, and this is the beginning of the business week, so I'm going to need 50 gold rent to keep you covered here.
I see. How very unfortunate that you forgot to mention that.
It is, but you know, I'd had quite the night in the pub. It just slipped my mind. And he is grinning quite broadly.
Actually, didn't he state that that was for... We'd actually paid up for a certain number?
Yeah, we paid ahead in front. But if I'm not entirely incorrect, we paid in advance.
Oh, no, that was just in case something happens to the house.
Ah, but you did not say that.
Oh, I didn't need to. I knew what it was for.
Ah, you said we were paying in advance for the rent. Rent is not for insurance. If you wanted us to pay for insurance, then you have us to pay for insurance.
Either way, the rent is due.
Hmm. I'll tell you what. When does the people come to repair the hole?
Oh, well, I've only had a day to go scour up the resources. It should be starting work in about a week or so. As you might imagine, a lot of the carpentry work is being done outside or on the limits of the city, currently. There is a war on.
Hmm. Rain, do you remember our guest yesterday? The one we found downstairs?
Yes.
Do you remember if he was secured where he was?
Hmm.
I'm not
Yes.
sure we can open that passage from where he was.
Hmm. That's a fair point.
Now, was he there before you paid your rent?
A secret passage, you say?
Oh, he most certainly was there before.
Oh. Hmm.
Excuse me, you mentioned a secret passage in the building?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was not aware of that. Do show me where it is, please.
All right. Please mind the mess. I will lead the way.
As you Walking through the completely bare and clean home. Oh, you've done a lovely job of a place. Very nice. Yes, this'll polish up nicely over time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he follows you down to the cellar if you head down there. He brings only one of the men with him.
All right.
Ah, yes, nice cellar. So where's this secret passage?
I forget the riddle.
It's not a riddle. There's just a bad crude graffiti of a busty orc woman.
Ah, yes. I'll have to take a quick moment to read that again.
If you remember, it was just Cornelius going right for the tit.
Right. Well, I guess I'll go right
It
for
was
the tip.
Siegfried.
Oh,
Yeah,
Siegfried.
it's
Okay.
Siegfried.
Yeah.
I'll go right for the breast to open up the secret passage.
Oh, look at that. I had no idea this was down here, actually. That's interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I sell this place. Unless, of course, you lot are looking to become permanent homeowners. Yes, that is handy. I'll have to remember that. Thank you very much for informing me of it.
I step into the secret room. Is there a way to open the door from the other side?
If you look at it, yeah, there's... It's a lot less disguised. It's more sort of just... You can see sort of the pathway it's going to of a stone covering a lever.
Ah,
So there's a
Alright,
way to
but-
get out. It's just that guy was fucking wasted.
alright. Well, so much for that thought.
Well, if you want, you can go from the angle where he was completely fucking wasted, so he might not know how to get out.
No, I don't think that would work because he was wasted of his own volition.
Just like a kobold.
I'll be back.
And chances are the room still reeks of alcohol.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, just alcohol and a bit of damp and mold.
Ugh.
It could have been far worse when this place was open and working.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very nice and all. Don't see what it has to do with the rent. Apart from maybe I'm charging you a little less. Or, correction, I'm not charging you enough. But for now, I'm keeping it at a nice 50 for you. That's what we agreed on. 50 a week. And that 50 is owed. Now, you've got the week. He's saying this as he's walking back upstairs and all. But it's just simpler on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking it you won't be paying today.
I look at Cornelius and Rain.
Hang on. And I walk outside. And I start taking the head into the pockets there because I don't want him to see where I'm getting the money from.
Yeah. As you're sort of wrenching your hand to try and pull out these coins, because now and again there's a bit of a fight. Hello, neighbor. Having a bit of an issue with your belt there?
You could say that. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, it's always good to straighten yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice horses you've got.
Ah, thank you. Well, used to be a third one. Didn't fare well outside the gates.
Oh, I've heard it's right nasty along the roads, aye. That's why I chose to stay here, even though half of them have bucked themselves out. He just takes a sip of his tea, has another drag in his pipe. He's not paying attention to you now that you've just had said a few words. You know, he's up for conversation, but he's not noticing that you're wrenching out gold.
Yes. Well, I can see that there's always difficult choices.
So you're the owner of this?
More like frauded renter, but yes.
Ah, so you have no intention of reopening?
Not in the near future, I'm afraid.
I suppose it's not bad. I mean, it did bring the neighborhood down a wee bit, but still a bit of fun. You know, slap and tickle as opposed to a bit of a mug.
Hmm. No, at the moment, just making sure that we have somewhere to store things. So put our feet up, so to speak.
It's got nothing in there, does it?
There's not a whole lot in the moment, but probably gonna move some of the stuff away from the carriage here. Is the stuff still on the carriage? I haven't moved it inside, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Although you do notice there are footprints around it. Full-size human ones and smaller ones that seem heavier than a child.
Has there been a lot of traffic through here?
Not that I've noticed, but it only came out about 5 minutes ago. Just enough for the brew to cool down a wee bit, you know.
Yeah, I see.
I think I saw one of them foreign lads. Comes from a sandy place, I think. He's got the full armor on. I think I saw one of him tailing out the alley.
Interesting. Well, I gotta be ducking back inside. Nice talking to you, Mr.
Oh, Roughguard.
Roughguard. Thank you.
You know, if you're struggling a bit, I've got a big enough table. Do use a dinner if you fancy.
That does sound pleasant. I might take you up on that.
Oh, cheers. Have a good day yourself, Mr.
Ah, Mr. Sen.
Fair enough. Have yourself a good morning, Mr. Sint.
You have a good morning. I already forgot his name. Not the character, but I did. I have horrible names. Here you are.
Ah, fantastic. Nice and simple. Now you won't see me.
Now, before I give the money. Now, are there any other expenses you would like to make us notice of?
No, I just want the rent. If you want, I could go have a look around for people who'll sell you a bit of indoor attire. I mean, I like the doors you've got, and they're a nice job, them. If you got them from my friend and business Berenice, she'd be asking you for approval of those. She wouldn't just let you install, but as long as I get the rent, I'm happy.
Alright.
There we go. And his smile is still big, but it's more sincere, as he just quickly stuffs away the coins into his massive jingling bag on his waist. Have a good day, tenant. Alright, lads, on we go. And they just happily leave you.
Well, there's the man walking who's probably going to wake up one day with a knife in his back.
Can't be Zarzuli doesn't have one.
No, I've got two now.
I was supposed to say, even I've got a knife.
They're not
A
fancy
dagger.
ones, though. You don't assassinate someone with just a dagger.
Straight a dagger, thank you very much.
Well, now that we've been so rudely interrupted, what did we actually decide on doing?
We were gonna find some furniture and then head for the library. And Sazu was heading for the temple, and if Castalia is willing, escort him to there.
I will be escorting him there, but then I have a lunch date.
Fair enough. Droop, I hope you can look out for this place.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. Yes?
Well, someone needs to look out for the creature over there. As I look
Yeah.
over to pocket for, but before I leave, I pulled out the wand of magic missile. Take this just in case anything happens.
His eyes are wide, his ears are perked. Hand shaking a little bit as he grabs it. Oh.
Now, be careful with it. It has 7 charges. And if you use all 7 of them, it might break. So be careful with it, alright?
Okay, hang on. Yeah, hang on. He starts extending his fingers for a moment until you see 7 of them. Okay. Hand on chest. Okay. I can do this. You don't have to worry. I will definitely keep this one safe. And the house.
But, of course.
And the
remember,
animals. Oh boy.
Yes.
And the wagon. And the shell. And the chest of the gold.
You're going to do fine, Drew. Take a deep breath. All you have to do is just wait and watch them, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
But only use it to defend yourself. Alright?
Okay.
Don't do any unnecessary dangerous.
I really don't want to.
Then you'll be just fine. We're in the city now.
Yeah. Okay. I have this. I have this?
You got it.
This.
The wand is drawing all kinds of letters in the air as the tip shakes. But, you know, he's made himself a stool in order to check the windows now and again. He's keeping an eye on the wagon as he usually does.
Okay. Troop, the neighbor outside is there. I'm sure he'll keep an eye on it as well.
Okay, that's good.
Actually, speaking of, before we move off, perhaps we should move some of the inventory in the wagon inside.
I think that's a good idea, yeah. Including the shell.
Go ahead. You may notice this is a one-person door on the back here.
We're not going to be able to fit it into the house.
But a 2-person door is here, right in the open, in the square, where a lot of people are starting to do their morning business, including a large procession of clanking knights and soldiers you're seeing, marching towards the barricaded gates.
Alright, let's wait to do that at nighttime.
We can move some of the other stuff that can fit in through the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everything else will fit. As always, the shell is the sticking point.
Yeah, but I think I think it'll be easy to notice if someone tries to move the shell.
Well, it's on a cat. They can just wheel it away.
Yeah, that's the point. You'll notice it.
So where do you want to store the things? Do you just want to store it in the basement, or?
Probably a decent plan.
Well, takes a little while. You've lost an hour or two of morning. The procession of soldiers and warriors have gone past. There is a fair clamoring at the gates. Not sounds of screaming and death and destruction or anything, but a lot of sound of work.
Yeah.
Marching and shit. And the people the people who aren't warriors are just sort of going about daily business. There's a few drunks just getting freshly chucked out of a pub across the way from you. So, we basically stick everything in the basement because it's safe for now and you haven't really designated rooms yet. Let's go back to the city map. We'll put Siegfried out to sea here. So, ladies and gents, what are you up to in the great city of Raxis?
Salzador is going to head off towards the church.
And I'm going to escort him and likely be stoned away.
Yes, you head to the most religious and divine district with your devil in tow. That's okay though. Most of them,
to answer.
but it is a big city, and though you're not seeing them on every street corner, there's one or two tieflings you're seeing, and they aren't having to wear bells or anything. And as you're getting into the temple district, well, I mean, there's a lot of things you pass by as well. The market is open again in the Craftsman's Quarter. There is a fairly heavy bustle of foot traffic and crowds. Now and again, it's easy to lose track of Zarzul if he didn't have such a personality to him. Visually, you lose him a few times, but you always know where that little bustling kobold is. And of course, there is both the attention and the wide berth people give an internally wet tiefling. Because on one hand, shiny, exotic, unusual. On the other hand, it's a dry day, I don't want to get my shoes wet. As she continues to leave footprints across the stone paths. Now and again, there's a couple of carts you two have to duck past. And it's just a great clamoring place. The weather, still a bit cold. Castalia is not feeling it at all. Zarzul's not really much to you because there's just such enormous heat build-up from the swell of people moving about. And you are seeing a few more of your kind. A few more armored weapons carefully wrapped away. People who look like they've picked up a few scars along the path and hanging about in groups in the Craftsman Quarter. As you get into the Temple District and the Residential Quarter, a lot of the traffic's fallen away. It's muted, is more of a feel of it. As you start walking, there's a clamor of bells, but that's about it. You're not hearing the huge building cacophony of just all types of people having conversations and chattering. Most of the people are sort of single filing their way out into the Craftsman's District, and they're not saying a whole lot to each other. There's heads not really looking forward, mainly looking down slightly for. It doesn't feel that great. Except for the Kobold House, which is raucous as hell.
The happening place.
And I also forgot to add something, so hang on one moment. Because I've got to upload something, because I was doing tokens, and I forgot about this picture I needed. Doobadoo. Now, just where is the fucker? Shit. Okay, he's not in that folder. Is he in this one? Crap. I'll get to him when you're on your way back, if you come back. So, you're in the little fountain square. It is a elaborate fountain. It is refreshing to be by, even though it is a chilly autumn. It is a grey sky, heavy with rain, just about to fall at any moment. When you get around the fountain itself, it feels summer on a coast. It is a lovely breeze. You feel a little bit cozy. And it's no surprise that there's handfuls of people, just sitting around there, trying to put their feet up. But again, not a lot of conversation, not a lot of idle chatter between them.
Okay. Oh well.
And of course, before I forget,
having a quick look around towards the temple.
Where the fuck is this picture? Where did I put it? Fuck. Is it in this folder? Must be in this folder. Unfortunately, I can't even fucking look at your rolls and shit. But yeah, you're looking at Temple District. There's a fair bit of business being done. From what you assume, there's a couple of groups of armored types. There are people in holy robes. And you can see them coming back and forth, like a changing of the guard sort of thing, along the walled slums. There's quite a few holy warriors from the looks of it, and they seem a bit more militant, a bit more trained than someone like, say, Rain. But there is also the mingling of the Finn, but also with a slight paunch, holy men types. I cannot find this fucking picture. Okay, never mind. I'll get to that later. I'll just stick it in the fucking Discord. But yeah, it looks like there's general sort of traffic. There is one choir starting to practice as they sort of pace along the ways with their little sign and collection box. Alms for the poor. So, what do you guys do?
I drop a couple of silver in the collection box.
There's
and
just
head towards the temple.
yeah, there's a nod of the head, and they're very grateful for it. So you're heading for a big ass temple again.
Yep. Well, he asked me to come back.
He did. And it's a different person at the well, I mean, you walk in, it is again like walking into a gigantic cavern. It's like they took part of the mountain and just carved it away into incredibly ornate and indulgent kind of pillars and decorations. There's a lot of statuary of people. There's actually one you've noticed now, since your vision isn't limited anymore. As you look off in the distance, you can see a huge carven figure of... I forgot his fucking name there for a second. Ermom. He is standing tall and proud with both arms and a huge axe.
Oh dear.
Slightly smaller, but at his sides are slightly less impressive statues of a human warrior, heavy armor, large sword, big shield, although not as detailed. There's no heraldry on the shield, for example. And then the long ears of an elf and a slim figure on the other side. Seems more like they were probably a caster in the past. They don't seem heavily armed at all, nor a bow. But there's also other figures along the whole back of it is just filled with statuaries of, you assume, notable figures. No one you really recognize apart from Ermom. It's actually not a bad likeness.
Oh, he looked good in life.
I wonder who his friends were.
Maybe we should find out. I'm sure somebody here knows.
It should be on the statue, like on a plaque or something.
Yeah.
Right, let's go see. Let's take a closer look.
Excuse me, do the two of you have business? As one
yes.
of them quickly walks out, mainly looking at Castalia. Just sort of not really noticing the kobold. He looks a bit worried one of the dancing girls has come in to confess a whole list of things.
Yes. What was his name? Can I remember his name? I was asked to come and see somebody today.
I don't actually remember his name, so you're in luck there. Because I take a note of a lot of fucking names, and his one slipped by. I have fucking Rothgard written down. I don't have the priest name, but yeah. Do you have reason to see him?
He came and asked when I came here yesterday to have a curse removed. He asked me to come back today to talk about the goddess Tamara.
All right then. I will check for you. And you, miss? Or is it madam?
I'm just here with my friend. He had a rough night, and I want to make sure he's all right.
I see. Most don't bring... never mind. Okay, yes. If you wait here, I will see if this appointment is valid. One moment, please. You may look around. Please do not make much noise. We're in the middle of morning prayer. And he trots away off.
Don't worry, he's good friend.
Shh. And he runs away off. Well, sort of. It's a light jog.
So I try and stealthily approach the statue then.
I mean, there's no one to block you or anything at this point. Because they're all trying to focus, but you pin yourself incredibly suspiciously to the wall, you hunker down. There's not really places to hide entirely out of sight because there's a lot of people, but you know, most of the time you're not being seen by 3/4 of a room. Now and again you're entering someone's vision, but most of the time they're looking down, fondling their little holy symbols, some of them preparing offerings. There's a lot of different little altars sort of strewn about along the place. Like it's kind of like a big gathering center in the middle where there's just a lot of faiths being represented under one roof. But you feel you're doing a good job of sneaking about.
I'm just trying to mainly move silently over to the statue.
It's no bother at all. Despite all of your clinking gear, you've long adjusted to keeping that pretty much quiet, and it's not as if there's any pressure or such. So yeah, you step along pretty quietly.
I provide a good distraction by simply being there.
You do. There's a lot. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of eyes. Now and again, you can hear a whisper of one of the priests chortling at the other because his faith has a vow of celibacy and his doesn't. There's also a few, like, some proud looks, some who are just looking at you nonchalantly, like, "Oh, that's a tiefling," and then going back to their prayers. But yes, no one's paying attention to this sneaky kobold.
Okay, is there a plaque on the statue?
There is, but it's quite high up as you realize. At the back here, it is very raised. There's a few plinths, a few daises, a few altar or lecterns for various kinds of services. I mean, you can see it slightly. It's the light sort of hitting it a bit, but you do make out Ermom Sofat, hero of Raxis, slayer of monsters. And then at the bottom of it, it just says dwarf.
Okay, and no others for the other people around him?
Oh yes, there are. Who do you look at?
Oh, I want to get the name of each of them in turn, as it were, just to see who his friends were or his fellows.
Alright. For the human, there is Radakan Melkot. I'll actually spell that one because it's an awkward name. Radakan Melkot. It goes into that he was a noble warrior, he was a proud hero, he was a fantastic duelist, he was unmatched in martial prowess. It continues to go on for this. There's a lot of occupation and adjective to it. And generally you feel like this man did everything. Before it finally settles on brave steward. But it doesn't have anything else to the rest of it, such as where. But it's just a long procession of everything he has done in pride.
Okay. It looks like somebody liked this guy.
Yeah, his plaque is about, even though there's a big size difference between the statues, his plaque is about 3 times the length of Ermom's.
Okay, local hero, probably, maybe, who knows?
It didn't say local on it. It didn't say Raxis born or anything. And then as you look to the other one, you see Zanwist, Fallowinter. Had to make sure I was getting that bit right. I was going to say Tallwinter. No, it's not right. So Zillowist, Fallowinter. Both of you can appreciate now that you're up close. Yeah, there's a bit of a family resemblance. This looks a fair bit like that smiling guard you met. Although there's much more regalness to this face. It's also a lot more narrow and made of stone. Although he probably had no blemishes anyway, being an elf. This one does say Raxin born. Hero of the wilds. Protector of the greens. humble traveler. Is a much shorter
Okay.
and simple plaque.
Interesting, interesting. We should head back to where we were so they can find us. And when he finally works out that I am supposed to be here.
And it only takes
Yeah.
a few more minutes. I mean, you guys just have to put up with a lot of low droning, some pleasant chanting. A few of them are quite melodious, and there's more than a few that actually look a little familiar in their attire, and then you realize, oh, those must be the Sunites. They're praying to the Lady of Beauty and Grace and Pleasure. And they wave at you, Castalia.
I wave back.
And it's just simple greeting, and then a few moments later, the acolyte returns. Yes, turns out your appointment is correct. So, it's just you following me? Do you need your friend here?
No, it was all good. I'm sure she'll be here when I get back. Unless she wants to come along. Castalia?
Sure.
He didn't specify a visitor limit, so yes, of course, come. You're led through the winding passages, through a couple of vestibules and secret little passages. It's kind of strange because you know that they're main traffic because there's a lot of people going on, but they're still having to pull a book and move something out of the way. It looks like they've expanded a little too much. And then you're brought into the office again of one very old, slightly withered-looking high priest. It's the kobold
Hello,
again.
friend!
Greetings, yes. And a friend. A different
This
one.
Is my traveling... Yes, this is my traveling companion, Castalia.
A pleasure. Thank you for helping out my friend.
I'm sure pleasure factors a lot into your life, yes. So, Tamara is what we were going to speak on.
Yes.
I'm wondering, how did you come to know that name?
Yeah, it was passed down along my tribe as a dragon to honor and
Yes,
person,
she is
yeah.
something of a... In some texts, she is a female counterpart to Bahamut instead of Tiamat. In others, she is her own being and completely separate from the two thoroughly known draconic gods, or devil in one case. She's not
Yes.
all that well known. I'm surprised. It's very old text that I found reference to her in, and your clan know of her.
Yes, it's been passed down as one of our gods to worship.
It's a good choice. I cannot fault you there. From what I've read, she is a very noble deity.
Oh yes.
But there's so
Very
little
nice.
on her, as I found out. I'm scoured the archives we have here, and you can see, as you look outside his office, there are a couple of very worn out looking monks with armfuls of books that walked out of his office a few minutes before you guys walked in. You know, you saw them in passing. They look like they've had the shit run out of them. And there's scant few mentions of her, although apparently there was followers to her some time ago in Raxis itself. This was a surprise to me, I must be honest.
Oh, it is good to know that her word has spread, even if it has been forgotten. But it is good to know.
Yes, and so long as there are believers, a faith is true. So, we do have certain rules on which can be worshipped openly in the temples, and I can't really open up an altar or such for just one follower, but we did find among some old relics there is in fact this, and as a gesture of faith, as one holy man to another. I assume you are.
Oh yes, yes, most definitely.
Do not believe the amount of incense you use.
I bequeath you this, and as he reaches down, he brings out. It looks like a very pretty, shiny, very shiny. It is reflecting all kinds of light in it. Platinum scale, although you get the feeling it's not real platinum.
Right.
But it's on a chain and it's quite small. It is less a relic, more of a holy symbol.
Oh,
And the chain
thank
itself is
you,
on very
good sir.
simple. Yes, this will help you preach your faith, although I believe you should try to learn a bit more about it. Unfortunately, all the texts that I reviewed to learn about your deity are heavily restricted, I'm afraid. There's
Oh,
not a lot
oh
I can
dear.
do for you there.
Where do you suggest I go to possibly find out more?
I haven't the faintest idea, I'm afraid. The best I could tell you is one of the noble houses may have a repository of knowledge. They do keep track of their lineage as far back as they can, and it is quite far back that she had any presence in Raxis, I'm afraid. We are speaking of quite a few centuries.
Oh, oh. Any idea which part of Raxis, possibly? Does it not mention it?
Um, Unfortunately, it's the north, but you are not local here, I'm afraid.
No.
No,
No.
the North Raxis used to be a different kingdom, and it is no longer anything.
Oh.
Hang on one moment as he starts to flip through various parchments and whispers to one of his assistants who's standing on hand. In fact, you forgot that guy even existed for a moment. He's just been standing stock fucking still silently until he's been commanded.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with this guy's stealth skill.
You mistook him for a very plain statue.
I
Yes.
must remember that. That's an interesting technique.
Yes, I do have a bit of time. Yes, why not? I suppose it's an indulgence. I mean, you've not come from the north, and you've not seen how it is.
No. No, we've not come from there.
It is
Came from
best
the-
defined as a dead land. It is completely wiped out by war. I mean, there are things there, but what noble houses ruled it are now frozen solid and will be for eternity, I believe.
Oh.
The land itself cannot grow much of anything. There are no trees or no villages, no proper civilization anymore, so books and records of the past might not have survived there, so you may be lucky enough to find people who had relatives up north and had kept details of them.
Okay. Thank you, good sir. I shall take this in mind.
I'm not sure why, but I do find your interest in her fascinating. And a whole kobold tribe worships her, you say?
Yes, the get it tribe.
Are they distant from these lands?
They were, yes.
Oh yeah, they are. Fascinating.
Very.
And they didn't have much records of her?
No, it was mainly passed down by word of mouth.
That is
I'm
very
not sure
mutable,
all the
yes.
details. Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
what she
hope
was-
you keep a good faith. As far as I can,
will, good sir.
as far as I can tell, she is a deity of just honest goodness, and that we need plenty of that in the world.
Yes. The only thing which was not good in her eyes was the undead.
They are
They
never a good
all
thing.
Rest. May they all rest in peace forever.
Indeed. Well,
Thank you, good sir.
yes. And I suppose you are a fellow worshipper of something? As he looks to Castalia.
No, not particularly.
You just have the look of a Sunite. Very well. Well, I will see you all some other time. Why am I saying this? We are done for today. I'm terrible at
Thank you,
goodbyes, but
sir.
yes. Farewell, Mr. Get-It. I assume you're a
Farewell.
Get-It. You said you're from the clan.
Yes. I'm Zazu. Get it. Get him. Yeah.
May your faith be true,
Yours as well.
and may your
Good day,
prayers be
sir.
answered. Good day.
Thank you for your assistance.
Yes, no problem at all. I'm
Yep.
always happy
do
to
I
help.
remember the way out.
Before you do, of course, there is a slight little clatter of wood and coin. It's not him, it's another assistant who is standing in the corner by the door.
Oh dear. Oh well, there goes another. I don't have a lot on me. Damn, religion's expensive. Okay, there goes another 3 gold. And I'm broke again.
They seem happy enough. I mean, they're not blocking your way or anything. It was entirely a charitable donation, of course.
Of course. We can wander the halls forever until we get donations.
And so you're let out, escorted back to the main hall, and out of the temple. Just they're giving you guidance. They're not telling you to get out or anything. You're not being chased by more donation boxes.
No, I'm sure they're just waiting outside the temple.
They're hiding around every
in the
corner.
ambush. Let us head for the trade district, maybe, and see if we can find a reputable person to buy a table from.
About what time is it?
Oh, it's not even noon yet. You still got a fair bit before the sun's that high.
Alright then, I will accompany, and yes, let us go find some furniture so our home is more of a home instead of a hovel.
And damn it, for some reason the fucking picture has gone wandering. I cannot find this little bastard. I was fishing for it while doing that scene at the same fucking time.
Well, don't you know, it knew that you wanted it, so it hid itself.
Yeah, I suppose so.
If you use the image editing program, does it show whichever one you worked on last?
Oh, this one I've had sitting for ages, and I did not change the title. So it is a jumble of various letters and characteristics and figures. Like I said, I need someone to help me organize these fucking folders. I have quite a few. But for some reason, this little fucker isn't in any of them somehow. I don't know why that is. But yes, let's jump while you guys are walking back. We'll say at least get to the fountain and all. Let's jump to everyone's favorite odd couple. What are the nerds doing?
Well, it's gonna be awkward because we're also looking for furniture now.
Yeah.
Ah, but
Yes,
they're
I
starting
know
in the
that was
temple
right.
district, and you've got a head start on them.
Yeah.
Which means they're gonna come back with another table.
Depends how many shiny things show up first.
Well, suppose we head for the merchant district.
Yes, I found him. Hang on, I'm not showing the dice. Okay, I can actually upload this quickly and sneakily. What the fuck is this one called? Okay. Yeah, keep going.
Yep, we can head on out and we can get that purchase settled.
Alright, so where are you going?
Guess to the merchant square.
Alright, so you head yourselves into Craftsman District. It is a heavy bustle. As you're walking As you're walking past this street, there is, to your left, a great gout of various colors and bursts in the air and great noise. And then utter silence for a moment before a raucous "Yes!" from about 50 or 60 separate tiny voices. So things are going on at the Fuggle Clumps.
So Cornelius, I vote that we go for a cheaper set, considering we're not going to be living here long.
Indeed.
Or are you?
Well, it depends on the prices.
And yeah, so there's the open market. Many people calling out. There is, of course, a lot of people passing by. You can see people stepping about with great lengths of lumber, bolts of cloth, wagons full of odds and ends. Not a whole hell of a lot of ore or metal. Many heaps of fish and various fishing goods. And just massive bundles of corn, wheat, that sort of thing. It's a great swirl of activity. It's hard to even spot the sort of place you need to be. Like, you're not seeing great signage because there's just such a swarm of fucking people. Alright, so I put this here. As I very quickly try to set up this file, but keep on going. So, what are you going to do to try and detect where you need to go?
I'm gonna walk up to one of the stalls and ask if there's anyone who knows where to find furniture.
Yeah, easy enough. So let's see here. So, yeah, you want to be going round about, sort of northwards, right up in the corner of the walls. There's a couple of workman shops here.
All right then.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. What is he selling, by the way?
Him, since you just walked up to someone randomly, he's offering various kinds of kitchen utensils and cookingware. Mainly ceramics. You're getting a lot of little sort of storage pots, a couple of teapots, a few bowls, plates, a couple of ceramic forks as well.
Bit of an odd choice, but okay.
Well, it's just, you walked up to him at a random time.
Yeah. Well, we're probably also gonna need plates, so we don't have to constantly have two magic guys plates.
Yeah, all his stuff is very basic and utilitarian. Not a whole lot of decoration, mainly browns. You're able to, if you want to get a whole clattering set for the whole party, with, a separate bowl each and all, that's just going to cost you about 2 silver.
Yeah, I've got to take a set of that then.
If you want, I can send the lad around to deliver it, unless you want to carry that stuff yourself.
I would appreciate that, thank you very much.
Alright, where are you living?
Oh boy.
I would not be surprised if your lad already knew it, but tell him the location.
My lad's only reached his teenage years, sir. Although I am aware of the place you're speaking of.
Just tell him that there's going to be somebody named Droop there.
Yes.
He might be a little bit nervous.
Alright.
Yes. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna take this.
Cornelius, you feel
You
this
can just
horrible...
tell
Go on.
You can just tell him, hey, if he says Droop, Cornelius, and Rain sent me, I have...
I'm gonna take this with me.
Okay.
You feel this horrible, hideous strain in your arms as you realize you're carrying things like a peasant.
And I hand it over to Rain.
I give him the look.
I just say, hold this for a minute.
I'll take half.
If you want, it's 5 copper for a bag.
Let's go with that.
And he just brings out this... It looks like a scooped out badger. But, it's a good tough sort of hide bag. He's able to sling all that in without it clattering.
It probably was a badge at some point.
There you go. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, be lucky.
You as well.
And just to tease them, this is what Zarzul and Castalia see, standing outside the Cobalt House.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh God.
Is he the one that was bullied?
Monsieur. Where I've got his name somewhere, I think.
Well, it says something in the top.
Yeah.
That is one fancy ass kobold.
He puts Cornelius to shame. There we go. I can finally put the dice tray back on view. Because I'm done fiddling with files mid-fucking session. All the fucking things I prepped for, and I forgot that piece of shit. Every week I forget about him. And yeah, as you sidle along, there's the odd occasional looks. Like, how are you two presenting yourself right now?
I've gone back to more plain attire. The plain black dress with the Kellenvor symbol.
Okay, so you are brandishing the Kellenvor symbol, so yeah. There's a few odd glances now and again, because they're just used to having a priest in the temple district in the mornings. It's like, is she shirking her duties? Is someone having a weird funeral and she's had to come to tell them the news? And now and again, Cornelius, you do see someone, just maybe once every 10 minutes or so as you're stepping in the great swirl of people, they're just sort of narrowing an eye at you for a moment, tilting ahead, and then just sort of walking off.
I'm starting to wonder why people are seeing a resemblance to that person up on stage.
Well, I mean, they're shaking their heads afterwards, but you know, it's just sort of instinctive.
The fopness is just... he nails it.
Yeah, as you pass by, well, pass by a few metalworking shops, a few leatherworkers, although not the tanners, those are back in the south. And then you get into the sound of great rasping saws, of the thick stench of sawdust in the air. This is the place of joiners, of fitters, of good solid woodworking. There's a few simple stores, although one big one seems to be taking up most of the space.
Well, do we want to go for the big one, or do we want to go for a little one and hope that they'll have some better prices?
I mean, we can just take it one at a time.
Works
No
for me.
rush.
And this is somewhere where I'm not horribly unuseful.
I'm sure Cornelius looks at you skeptically.
I have a merchant family.
Yes, that can to great use for helping me with my merchant skills when we got that house.
When's the last time you?
Houses.
When's the last
I'm
time
not
you went to a
here with
reunion?
me. I don't go to a reunion.
Have the family called recently?
Of course not. It's been an equal part pleasure of severance.
Well, the first one you enter is in 2 words, quaint and cluttered. It is packed wall to wall, tables, end chairs, stools, poofs, little side tables. Just everything is crammed together and stacked up on top of each other. There are cushions everywhere as well. There is the thick stench of various kinds of incense overlapping, not in a good way. And there are doilies. There is lace everywhere. It's like walking into every grandmother's house condensed into one building.
Oh my god, we found an antiquary.
And sitting at the counter is a 24-year-old looking dwarf. You can tell he's 24 because, well, he's got that attitude about him. He's gone past the teenage sort of doldry and depression and more into the this is my life now, huh? I'm a wage slave now. He's got that look that says, would you like fries with that? And that's
Does he
all
look
he's going to
like-
be saying for 20 more years.
Does he look? Does he look like the dwarf version of the guy from Clerks?
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's not as distracted, though. He looks like he's actually going to do the job because he's looking at you guys. You walk in. Hello.
Hello there. And I just start looking at the prices since I hear he doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, he doesn't say a fucking thing.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of price tags, but you're generally seeing a range, mainly in silvers. A few now and again are looking gold and questionably gold. But it's very low digits you're seeing.
So the things that we have a price tag on, at least for the ones that are in the silver price range, does it look about right for the item?
Oh yeah, this looks like it could fit a peasant's household. I mean, maybe it's a little pricier looking than it should. Or, I mean, maybe the price looks a little higher than it should, but... And also, not all of it seems brand new, but then they've also stacked everything on top of each other and shuffled stuff about, so maybe it's just wear and tear from simply arranging the shop.
And there's a war on.
There's a war on. It looks like sort of, it's common living material. It's alright. For people who would have a job, but not a great one. But it's above sort of shit shoveler rates,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the kind of furniture where there's at least a little bit of pride put into it.
Yeah. This is what you'd expect the people who work on your land would have around themselves, Cornelius. If you ever gave them a single thought. He has watched you the whole time. He has not looked like he's prepping to say a word at all. He's just leaning on his elbows. And
Well,
grabbing
are
at the scruff of
there-
his beard.
Is there a decent sized table?
There's not really a decent sized anything. It all looks sort of single person stuff. Like, there's no room in this place for a many person table. There's stuff that could fit maybe 4, but you're going to be knocking knees.
Yeah, that won't work with us.
2 tables. Put them
Hey.
together.
Yeah, 3 of them. 4, why not?
Yeah, but the question is any of the furniture actually compatible with each other? It's just a random hodgepodge of different... Like, is there anything that could be deemed a set?
Give me a perception check.
Oh dear.
You found 2 pairs of sets. There are 2 doilies that look like they came from the same knitter. And there are 2 chairs on the same level with each other. Although the backrests are completely different designs. One's flowery, one's very sort of wine-themed with casks and glasses. It's quite nicely carved in.
I'm going to turn to Cornelius and say, there's a lot of good things here, but I'm not sure it's going to fit with what we need.
We'll probably take this as a last resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh no, we have a larger party, so we need larger items.
Alright. Thank you for telling me your circumstances.
Have a pleasant day.
Sure.
I just begin to walk out. I can let Rain deal with trying to be pleasant to this person.
Yep, I go to follow him out now at this point.
The next store you walk into is elegant. In the same way that a tart's room is elegant when you paid a little more gold. It's just there's a lot of drapes, there's a lot of curtaining, there's a lot of full tablecloths, just a lot of stuff sort of hanging over surfaces and looking smooth and ironed.
I mumble quietly, this is going to be expensive.
Behind the counter is a very old-looking woman. You're not entirely sure what race she could be, apart from she's not gnome. She's not elven. That's about it. And while she doesn't notice you immediately, she's starting to sort of pull at one of the wispy hairs on a mole. Oh, customers! Sorry about that. Is there something you're looking for in particular? I can kit out your whole establishment.
We're just looking around for the moment. Thank you very much.
This is all handcrafted in Raxis. This is all local goods with local wood sourced from local forests. Although as you look around, there is precious little wood on display because there's so many fucking sheets.
I just motion. Do you mind if I lift some of the sheets just to see what the...
Oh, yes, go ahead, please. We were just doing a bit of dusting. It's good to keep it out of the way. There's not a speck of fucking dust on the sheets. As you pull it away, it is very varnished. It is very shiny.
Is it like I have to kind of squeeze my eyes together because I'm getting blinded?
Depending on which one you're pulling off, yeah. But then there's a few that look like, they've been worn in a bit. They haven't had quite as many layers put on, and it's all pretty nice stuff. This is more what you'd expect your sort of butler to have, or your valet. Because they're not allowed to use the actual living quarters.
Yeah.
This is good enough for a servant, but a classy servant. The price tags are veering more towards the gold, and there's a few you're seeing are double digits, but they tend to be sets. You're seeing, a table with a couple of chairs thrown in.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for I could direct you?
Well, we are looking for some inventory for a party of...
Just a party. We don't do rentals.
Sorry, a group of people of around 7.
Some would say family, but whatever goes. Well, if you need, let me show you around. And then she takes you around the corner a bit further into the back, and there's bigger stuff on display. There's even a few animal heads on plaques.
Let me ask you this. Is she the kind of old woman that starts rambling about other kind of things as well?
No, she's actually keeping it very much in the products, although you're not really able to pay attention fully because it just seems to flow from one product to the next. Like, apparently that chair is a great place to fall asleep in, and this table will support an entire family's blankets, and it's all sort of jarbling together. But she is talking very excitedly about the larger products because obviously they don't move them as you look at the price tag. Again, it's double digits of golds, and you're seeing slightly less good deals. You're seeing a big table that could sit 6 people either side and 2 at the head, but it's coming with free chairs. But it is really good workmanship. And as you check the legs of it, you can see that there's a carved figure on what you'd say is the thigh of the leg, really. And it is a grim-looking dwarf, and you realize it's a familiar one.
That's an interesting table right here. What's the story behind this?
Oh, well, a couple of craftsmen made a table, but they thought it would look very nice if you had a proper defender of the household here, so they've carved little ermoms. It does have... One of the craftsmen does live locally, just in case of any issues, although there shouldn't be. He has exquisite workmanship and works on some of our finest products. But, as you'll appreciate, all of this is custom, so I'm afraid we don't have multiple of these tables, just the one here that you can see.
Oh, quite sure, understandably.
As you check the underside of it, you can see that on the flanges and borders, there are just various sort of simple combat scenes. The tosser is quite prominent, but you're not really seeing a whole lot of him. Just a lot of dynamic poses of a dwarf in combat. If you want something a little more extravagant, we do have the sort of entitled room, I like to call it. She stands in front of a great sheet hanging down in front of the doorway.
Oh, no, that's quite alright.
Oh, it's always good to have a look, though, isn't it?
That she looks really excited about showing it.
Yes.
Thus, it also looks like she would be very disappointed that I'm not gonna buy anything from it.
Yes. She looked at you and thought that's a man of breeding. With the way that you sort of, disdainfully look at some of the cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
And even sort of didn't look all that excited.
Carrying the stuff.
Yeah, saw that Rain was carrying the bag. I mean, what sort of man walks around with his personal priest in tow? A fancy man, an expensive man.
Oh.
I think we're going to be best served probably if we just stick to tables of 8, preferably with 8 chairs.
Oh, well, behind this there are definitely that sort of accoutrements. We also have a few beds.
Cornelius is very, very interested, but he knows the party finances.
I'm looking at him and I go, I think we're going to stick at least with the furniture for more of the mid-range. Maybe we can consider looking at the bed later.
Well, I mean, can you really put a price on comfort and a restful sleep?
Can you, Rain?
And I'm just looking at Cornelius. I'm rubbing my temples.
She found his weak points.
How far is Zaz away at the moment?
I mean, like, this is all while you guys are in the temple.
Okay.
I take the bag of stuff and I go to hand it to Cornelius and I say, why didn't you check out the shop next door?
Cornelius just think about how long it is since he's been in a proper bed.
You look like the sort of man who enjoys a full 4-poster.
Go.
And one of my fellow business acquaintances can give you a fully stuffed mattress and pillows.
At this point, Cornelius is just running out of the store. He can't take it anymore. He's
dear,
just
I hope-
barely containing screaming.
I hope I didn't say anything to upset him.
No, it's alright.
Feather pillows.
Feather. Goose down, the fluffiest of down.
Silk sheets.
I don't think he'd be into that.
Satin sheets.
Because he'll just remember that silk sheets were probably the main theme of the building he was in.
So Cornelius is just basically sitting up against the wall, kind of rocking with the bag.
As you look down the bag and see all this utilitarian, incredibly plain eating utensils.
Yeah.
The old woman has lifted up the corner of the sheet and there's this bed back there.
It's so big. It's like you could have a person and 2 retainers sleeping in it. And the family dog. But yeah, you're just sitting there looking at those bowls. These are bowls for gruel. For porridge. For watered down biscuits and hardtack.
And the only reason why I'm not dumping every gold coin is because it's really difficult to get the gold coins out.
You don't know how many gold coins you need to get out yet. You have to find out.
He knows. Cornelius knows.
He knows you've got to pay big for pure, deserved comfort.
And the
And
thing
then-
is, Rain gets it, but not for the regular furniture. Not for the regular furniture.
And she's just looking at Rain expectantly.
Right, let's focus, at least for the table and chairs, I prefer to stick with the mid-range. And then we can see what other odds and ends we have, maybe in the higher range, because it looks like my friend really does want something.
Oh, you're only friends. Alright then, come with me. She leads you back into the previous rooms. Price range, again, is sort of like, you're looking at 5 gold for a nice plain table. It's got the chairs with it. Looks like it'll sit about, 7 or 8. Maybe a bit of issue with the elbow room, but come on, you've got a kobold and a goblin, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
You've lost the dwarf. No one broad is sitting at that table. Chairs included for 7. For 7 gold, I mean.
Alright, so I'll pick out the nicest, most sturdy looking one, preferably one that doesn't look horrible so Cornelius doesn't have a heart attack.
I mean, you've got the choice. You've got a nice, rich mahogany look, or you've got a solid, heavy, well-sheened oak. The oak is
Probably
an
the
extra
mahogany.
gold.
Probably the mahogany.
Alright, you go for a nice sort of chocolatey mahogany.
Yes, that's just... It just looks so much nicer.
I'm presuming you'll need some assistance to get this to your home.
We will? Well, actually, I'll have to ask my associate if he'll help arrange a little bit of that, but quite possibly. Let me think. We do need to look in something in the section of beds.
Well, in the mid-range we have these nice, simple frames, and I can give you the name of associate. She just lives slightly to the south. You saw the little circle of buildings before you got here.
Yes.
That's mainly the fabric workers, so I can set you up with a lovely woman called Molly.
Molly,
She makes
why, thank
very
you.
lovely. She makes very lovely bedding, and she also made some of these lovely sheets and fabrics.
I do have to say, you do have some lovely fabrics in here.
Oh yes, I know it seems a bit overdone, but I do like to put them just every. It's a lovely sight to behold, and then there's the surprise. You pull the sheet and you see this beautiful work laid out in front of you.
And it's always so helpful with the dust.
Yes, I feel it's helped me out on a lot of sales.
Oh, yes.
And of course, there's that one that obscures the entitled room.
I just take a moment and I go, well, let me think. I suppose we can take a peek.
We? Oh, we should call him back in then, shouldn't we?
I'll leave him out there just because, heaven forbid, he'll look and he'll be so depressed the whole time. But I actually know what the budget is.
Oh, good. Alright, then follow me. And as she pulls the curtains, it is gorgeous. Some are a little ostentatious, but the thing that catches your eye immediately is this huge 4-poster bed. Although the pillars themselves are beautifully carved, rearing stags with full antlers spread outwards. There is a foot-tall mattress sitting in there. There are huge fluffy pillows. There's about 20 pillows filling up the back of it. The sheets are a rich, deep purple. Deep and dark, a proper dye that'll stick fast. Along the panelings of it, you can see that there's just nature scenes. There's various kinds of vine bushes, there's berries, there's great sculpted flowers. That is one of our finest, I'll admit.
That is very much fine. Oy, that is very nice.
Yes, the craftsman has a real thing for nature and the beasts of the wild. We have a few that are themed.
The only issue with something this large is we'll have to eventually pack it back up to take home with us again.
Oh, not at all. You see, the entitled room has a lovely wall that helps me unload all this. Otherwise, how would I get it out, of course? And I can hire a couple of stevedores to carry this for you.
Oh yes, but you see, we're not going to be in the city for maybe, if that, maybe a month or so.
But every day of that month, you have to have a nice, good sleep, and you'll never wake up in better condition than when you rise from one of these.
Yes, I'd rather, if we're going to get something nice, we look at something in the smaller category.
Madam, as an old woman, I do give you this advice: cherish every day.
Oh, I do.
And these will give you days that you can cherish.
Well, what do we have in things like, either end tables or seat?
Again, it is all ornately carved, but focused on ergonomics as well. So there's no awkward thing that's going to jab you in the back as part of a decoration, but there's a lot of nature. There's a lot of swirling vines going up the legs of the chair. There are beautifully carved bouquets filling the headrests and backrests. There is a chair that looks like a massive owlbear, with its arms coming around as the armrest to just sit in. It is a squatting beast that you lay back in, with a noble expression upon its face.
Pufflesworth would like that.
I think Rain likes that.
Yes, Rain likes that. But she's using Pufflesworth as the excuse to look at it.
There is something that looks almost like a throne for a cheap king. You know, a fiefdom, not a kingdom kind of thing. But she lets you touch it, and you just feel your fingers sink into the padding. It's like touching a dream sometimes. And the end tables, there's a lot of storage. There are a couple of large mirrors as well. But those are particularly pricey. You're actually looking at a triple figure for the mirrors, because that's very expensive to make those. Like, even in the PHB, a hand mirror costs something like 10 gold. Or higher, I think, actually. But you are seeing end tables, you are seeing vanities.
Probably not a full vanity. We'd look for probably, just a small table, but nice table.
There is a full writing desk. This was made by a different one, a tricksy little fuggle clump. But as you notice, it's all helped along and guided. Even a decrepit old hag like me can move any of these drawers with a simple press, and she just pushes against the drawer. You see it recede a bit, and then it just slowly, smoothly slides out.
Oh, that is nifty.
She pulls open the cover, presses down on it, and you just see it unfurl into this great, smooth writing surface. All of the storage you need for quills, inks, parchments, books. It was actually intended for a wizard, but didn't go to him, it seems.
I think I will have to call my associate in.
But as you glance at the price tag, you see 200 gold.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely out of the price range.
For some people. You got a couple of thousand on you, Cornelius.
Yeah.
And she leads you in, and it is everything you hoped for.
I look at Cornelius and I say quite clearly, one end table or vanity in that range, or one chair or something in that range. One.
The bed's only 150 gold, and it actually looks nicer than the one you've got at home.
If I catch him looking at a bed, I go, no.
A few bits and pieces do look nice, because you weren't ever a majorly decorated kind of person, but this is artistry. You have noticed that it's all very nature focused. You're not seeing any heraldry, you're not seeing anything sort of, apart from the Ermoms, you're not seeing anything historic either. It's all very much the wilds.
say, the one who made these furniture. Do you know who they are?
Oh yes, that's Mariah. Mariah Fallowinter.
They seem to. Well, I wouldn't know at this point, of course.
I mean, you've met one.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know how the extent of their family because I don't know what happened at the temple.
Yep.
Oh, we don't know if that's a common name or not.
Yeah.
Rainwood, wasn't she in the inn when I was talking to Robert and he explained his family history?
Yeah, but Rain's not there.
I'm trying to remember how much I heard of that.
I think you were generally just listening around in the inn. I don't think it was such.
Yeah, I was eavesdropping for info.
Alright then.
Yeah, so. Yeah, just mostly. Just Cornelius probably suspected there's probably some elf involved in all this.
So I look at Cornelius and I go, one smaller thing we can put in the wagon. Comfortably put in the wagon when we have to leave.
Cornelius is kind of trying not to hyperventilate.
Although she's now known as Mariah Melvitz. She went back to her old name.
I see.
Are you alright, sir? You look a little peaked.
Take out a cloth. No, just. No. One day. I imagine it's kind of cold outside today because we're nearing winter.
I don't normally do this, but please have a seat. And she tries to guide you onto the bed to sit on it.
And I stop him. I go, let's finish shopping so we can get you home.
Yes.
So, pick either a chair or some sort of a desk or something that can go into your room. I suggest a chair, probably. 'Cause
You
that
get
would be
one
very
toy.
nice for you to sit in. It'd be nice to relax in a chair at the end of the day, right?
And I just look at the desk.
You can even picture your spell book sitting on it. It looks perfectly sized for everything you have ever needed to jot down magic. There is so much storage. There are sturdy locks. You look at them and just think, Rain could never get into these.
And I just close my eyes to avoid looking at anything in the store and just feebly point at the desk.
Oh, I'm so happy. That looks perfect for your business needs, I suppose.
Yes.
And the reason I'm not arguing is I know technically he would have use for it when he gets back home.
Oh yeah, it's entirely practical.
That's why I'm not stopping him, because I go, you know what? It makes sense. It'll make him happy.
You gave him a choice of the action figure of a football, and he pointed at the remote control car. 250 gold. You've got a writing desk for your home so far, and by this time, I'll have said, let's hop over to Castalia and Zarzul.
You're going to be doing the same thing.
Who are walking past the fountain. You even find yourselves sort of stepping a little closer to it just to enjoy that niceness, because it's getting a bit chilly, even though the sun's still rising. And you're noticing a bit of clamor and a bit of chatter among the armored folks around the fenced-off slums. And then you see him stepping up from the main street towards the kobold home. A kobold in an incredibly thin but incredibly tall top hat. He has a monocle, he has a full suit. He is carrying a dimpled glass of wine, and there are 2 kobolds beside him, one holding a tray and a cloth, and the other holding a bottle of wine that is open.
Yes.
I put a hand on Zarzul's shoulder so he does not rush off immediately, and walk with him at a hurried pace, because I assume he's going to be dragging me along at near full strength, to go meet this kobold.
This is a kobold I was told to meet, actually. But yeah.
He notices that you're approaching him directly. He slowly turns for a moment, takes the monocle off, gives it a slight rub with one of his cloths, pulls it back up. Hello, good friends.
Hello, friend.
You're not one of mine, are you?
No, I'm new in town.
Then allow me to introduce myself. And then the one who is holding the bottle of wine pops up. This is Lord Lazul Ridenbach, the great king of the mines, the hero that saved the kobold nation of Raxis, the greatest scaled man who ever walked on 2 feet. But you can call me Mr. Ridenbach.
Thank you, Mr. Redenbach. I am Zazul Giddam. I have just come into town lately with my companions, and we will be here for a few months, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
He looks like he's waiting for you to get to the point. He's just sort of looking at you, and it's not really taking in. He's not seeing where his personal interest should be involved.
I heard
Jolly
that
good.
I heard you may have a few issues in the mines.
He quickly glances to the left and the right. No issues, not yet. No, none of that sort of thing, no. By the way, don't be rude. Who is this exquisite creature beside you?
This is Castalia, one of my companions.
A polite bow.
A single name, how exotic. Enchanté, Castalia. But no, there's no problems in the mines whatsoever. Do not fret and worry about that.
Pleasure, Mr. Redenbach.
He reaches out a hand for yours. It is very gangly and clawed and gnarled, but
I place my hand in his.
it's just a very slight little movement as one of the other kobolds comes behind him, lifts him up so he can lean down and kiss the back of the hand before putting him back down on the ground again. A pleasure to always meet one as distinctive as yourself. Marvelous. And you, Mr. Zizzle.
Zazul, yes.
Where did you hear this?
From a couple of kobolds I met in a bar.
Ah, that explains it all then. They were just overindulging us all.
Yes, I helped them with that.
Did you now? I did notice there was a marked depreciation in productivity yesterday. He just looks at you a little bit harshly. There's a little bit of the dragon in him there. But no harm done. The boys always need a time to let off steam. It helps future endeavors, even when it detracts from the current ones.
No worries, no worries.
So, were you volunteering, I suppose?
Oh no, we're just looking for work. I'm looking out for possible work in the future.
I
That
mean,
would be volunteering.
Volunteer? Possible.
I mean, it would be a very good help to your fellow brethren if there was any trouble that you would assist in it eagerly.
Of course, but there are no troubles, are there?
No, there are not currently any troubles whatsoever, but if there are, where may I get in contact with you? I assume there are more of you.
I'm with a party. Not all of them as short as I am. Actually, most of them are taller than me.
Pretty much everyone.
But yeah, even possibly the goblin.
Droop shorter and Pufflesworth is, at the moment.
Yep.
After that, you're fucked.
I tell them we're staying. I can't remember the name.
But you give him directions.
Yep.
But if you want to give him it, you just say it's the old foam-kissed lips.
Yep.
Ah, lovely establishment for gentlemen. I met my third wife there.
Oh, how interesting.
It is very interesting.
It's a little rundown, but we hope to do it up a little bit. Make it more homely? Maybe not the word, but workable.
Oh no, homely's no good for a business like that. You need exotic, you need alluring. And he says, and as he says this, his head does turn to look at Castalia. And he gives it the old flick of his snout as he says alluring, to give it emphasis.
Yes. Oh, well, it was good to meet you. I'm sure you're a busy man.
I am, but I always have time for my brethren. After all, we all come from the same eggs, no matter how high some of us rise.
This is true.
And as you notice, he is standing a little bit higher on his feet than you are, just so he can edge you out in height.
This is wearing a much taller hat.
Yeah, and even though Zarzul is fucking built compared to him. Like, for a kobold, he's buff. He's got all that lean muscle.
Yeah, I don't have a negative on my strength score.
Yeah, and you got high dex. You're fit. He's not.
So I'm about as intelligent. Never mind. If you're ever in need of our services, just send a message over. It was good meeting you.
I will. You have experience in mine tunnels, caves, caverns, and sewers?
A little. A bit more in mines.
Because most of the kind of places that a problem might happen. Not that there is one, but it might.
It is possible, yes.
Good. Well, hopefully you can lead your rabble in case of problems. Not that there are any.
Yeah. That's fine.
And I will be deeply grateful.
Thank you, good sir. May tomorrow be with you. Let's say.
Tomorrow?
Bowen. Yes, tomorrow.
Are you one of you called Tamara? No. Not today. I don't think she's with me.
That's the goddess I worship. Have a good day, good sir.
Oh, well then, yes. Have a good day, Mr. Larzel. And they step off into the kobold house, and when they open it, it's just like a fucking frat house of cheers. Someone scored the winning goal all of a sudden, apparently. Hello, boys, it's time for wages, and there's an even louder cheer.
Okay. Where to next?
Well, you were going to go get furniture.
I give Zarzul a pat on the back. One day, you will have a bigger hat.
Yes. On that thought, Buggle clumps.
About what time is it? Because I do have a date.
We'll say you're getting sort of, you've still got an hour and a half, maybe. Besides, you could always show up fashionably late.
Let's see, it's at number 12, and Fuggle Clumps are at 22. A bit of a tussle, but...
Let us go check the furniture. Maybe we can run into our companions there.
Yes, I should see how they're coming along with that.
I assume you guys just simply
Let's see
ask
if
where the
they're-
furniture craftsmen are.
Yep.
Yes.
Someone just handily point you along. Just do it that way. Just take a right. Keep going. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Just AFK a sec.
Okay. And as Castelli and Zorzul round the corner, they haven't quite found their party members yet, who are in the store with the writing desk. Cornelius and Rain, how is the rest of your consumerism going? Hello?
Well, yeah. I was just thinking for a moment.
Also, if you
Well-
don't have it, Cornelius, take an inspiration for acting fully in character. And Rain, you get inspiration yourself for keeping him under control.
Alright, so we've got the table, the chairs, we've got a writing desk, and then we need. And I look at Cornelius and stress twin beds.
Twin bed.
Oh, are you? Is that why you're just friends?
What?
We're associates. We're not getting full size beds, Cornelius.
Oh, she means single persons. I mean,
Yes.
that is a single person bed. She points to the gigantic four-poster. It looks like if you took it to one of the small rooms, you'd need to knock a wall down. It is
and to-
broad. It's got a big footprint.
Okay, nope. I think we're gonna move into the other room for looking for single bed.
Well, of course. If you just sign this little writ here, just to make sure that you are purchasing the writing desk. It's
And I
it's a
look at
very
Cornelius.
expensive piece, so we do need confirmation.
Ah, yes, of course.
And let me take you into the main room.
What does the paper say? Because I've learned now.
Oh no, it just lays out the very basic. We are purchasing this for this price.
Oh, by the way, when will it be coming around?
Oh well, if you wish to pay a little extra charge, it's only a couple of copper. It'll be round to your place in an hour or so.
Oh no, it's no rush. It's fine with it's just around later today.
It will be. We tend to deliver after shutting, so it'll be around about dinner time when the sun's starting to set.
Perfect.
Because it is getting dark around sort of 5-ish now.
Yeah. Oh, what? By the way, something I'm completely different. Do you happen to know if there's any repository of books for public perusal?
The temples do run a library up in the district.
Oh, that's another 250 gold gone there.
I'm afraid I don't have a. I mean, we do have a few schools, but I'm guessing they don't have what you'd want.
Well, they may or may not. It's worth taking a look anyway. Could you mention where they are?
Yeah.
Do you happen to know where they are?
She points out number 3 is a house of higher learning. That's sort of like, technically sort of your high school, but it's not. The education isn't all that advanced. But if you're going to be an actual business person, that's where you're gonna get some of your lessons.
Yeah, you're basically learning about bookkeeping and such.
Yeah. And while it doesn't have a number, we'll use this pub here. This is your kids learning. This is your basic literacy.
And then, of course, the temple.
And of course the temple, where people tend to get educated as well.
Yep.
I went to both of them some time ago. They probably have a larger repository in them. Although most book owners are, of course, behind the big walls. She gestures to the Villeneuve district. Or Vangula, as you say.
get back to our purchases.
So yeah, you're looking for tables, chairs, what else? A couple of beds, simple wooden frames, or simple little cots and all.
Yeah.
All in all, you're probably looking at about 25 gold, all said and done. For getting enough
Yeah,
furniture
that's
for
fair.
everybody, really. So you've got a full dining table with chairs. You've got a couple of a couple of work tables, beds for everyone. You don't even get a discount because they don't have like a gnome bed. They only have medium-sized creature beds.
Hmm.
On the bright side, Droop's gonna sleep well. And part of that 25 gold, she does give you the basic bedding that she has in stock. It's nice enough. A lot of it comes from a sheep. Some of it comes from plants. It's comfortable. It's nothing to what you just think that bed will feel like, Cornelius.
Yeah. Cornelius is crying a little bit on the inside.
And that's why I'm not letting him go anywhere near it.
But just touching it with your fingers as you feel this fluffy wool, this is so much better than a bedroll.
Yeah.
There is no way to compare this and the dirt. So it's got that going for it.
So long. 2 agonizing weeks.
You're getting near to
Yeah,
3
good.
weeks, I think.
3 agonizing weeks sleeping like a goddamn peasant.
All said and done, she's got quite a clink of coins, and then she's waiting for the big draw. And it's about that time that Web gonna get back yet? Looks like a no. But about that time, he pops into the board orc shop, or board dwarf shop, and Castalia chooses a different store as she walks in to see Cornelius and Rain with a lot of purchase orders.
Well, I give a friendly wave. Hey, there you two are. Have you picked everything up that we need?
Oh dear, is it raining outside?
Oh no, she's always like that.
Oh. Is it catching?
Oh no.
Let's say it's extremely localized.
Oh, well, all right. Wipe your feet, miss.
Sorry for that. Back.
Oh, welcome back. Okay, and the kobold joins you as well, getting bored of the incredibly bored early life crisis dwarf.
Alright, well, I'd wipe my feet, knowing full well that's not really gonna do shit.
It doesn't do anything, but hey, it tickled a little bit.
Oh, I mean, it's important.
Maybe you should just wait out. Can we move up closer to the door?
She looks a little bit
Why?
anxious as you get closer to the door before she's gotten money for the writing desk,
Yeah.
but she's got your signatures, so she's okay with it.
Ah, yes. What are you doing here?
We're just coming to come and see you here. We're finished our business in the church, the cathedral sector.
And everything went well?
Well, I'm here. It was
We're
an
here,
interesting
we're here.
chat.
We also have an offer for work, should it come up.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, I figure we'd need something to help pay for the various purchases we made so far.
True.
Well, speaking of, we have acquired proper living standard furniture.
Oh, thank heavens, it'll finally be nice to be in a bed again.
And Cornelius look wistfully to the back of the room.
The sheet is pulled down again. You can't see beyond it to the bed.
And Rain keeps positioning herself in front so he can't see at the door.
It doesn't matter. He sees through her. He goes beyond the. He
So
goes
everyone
beyond
else
the
is seeing
bed.
Cornelius stare wistfully at Rain.
Yeah. It's the happiest he's ever looked, and it's just a faint little trace in his eyes.
Anyway, yes, we have acquired beds.
And table.
Yes.
Yes. With chairs.
Excellent.
Yes.
Are they being delivered?
Yes.
Oh yes, round about supper time they'll be marching out and heading to your little place.
Oh, excellent.
'Cause you know-
Wonderful.
Oh yes, and while it is our medium-priced range, I tell you, there's nothing simply standard about the living conditions you'll be having. You'll enjoy many fine nights.
This is good.
And sir, you'll find your business will be expedited by that wonderfully crafted desk.
Yes. Okay. Yes, let's go and fix that right now. And I start moving out behind the
What?
back of the store to pay her.
That'll be 25 gold for all the various
Yes,
furnitures and
yes.
250 for the desk.
Yep.
What?
As I start beginning to pull out the money.
Oh, my goodness, so many coins. She starts sliding them all. Oh, that's interesting. Your ones aren't around.
To Castalia, who's looking about confused as all get out, I point out one of that's for him. It's a private purchase.
For how much?
I'm looking very amused. Cornelius, why didn't you tell them what your private purchase, how much it cost?
78, 79, 80, 82. She's just sliding the coins across the desk. Sword coasts have such strange shaped coins.
Look, can you really put a price on quality?
It's a struggle, sir, but we try to. And make it a fair one as well. Up to 100 now, 102, 4, 6. Just more and more coins being fistfuled onto the counter. As you think,
You're not gonna get a straight answer.
as you think back on renting the place, it cost 250 for deposit and the initial payment.
To be fair, that came straight out of my own pocket, not party funds. This is coming out of the party funds because I cannot afford it out of my own pockets.
So-
and Rain's gonna remind him of this once the once it comes time to get the actual coin.
Yeah, the old woman is counting it out fully vocally. She can't count into herself. So eventually it gets to 250. There we are, we're all settled and done. Thank you very much, sir and madam.
I'll be simply drumming my fingers on the doorframe.
It did take a minute or two for all the coins to come out as well. That's the worst part. As he was just not looking at you, reaching in and pulling out fistfuls of coin.
And Rain's been looking deeply amused the entire time.
And sir, that four-post will be waiting for you any time you come into wealth again.
And if it wasn't because it was too silly, it basically just imagine this. Just imagine a fictional universe where Cornelius would stretch out his arm and kind of do like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber going, "Goodbye, my love."
Instead, just a wistful look. He'd tip his hat, but he's swore never to wear that one.
Yeah.
And how
Not while in
much
action.
is the four-post, madam?
Oh, that's only 200. And the bedding is supplied. I assure you it is of the highest quality.
And I look at Castalia and say, "That's why I didn't let him in there alone."
And yet you took me in there anyway and said I could take one item.
Well, I specified a chair or an end table, and then I did let you get that just because it was useful for you and you could use it at home.
I want the one with the action feature.
Well, we will certainly have a goal to save for then.
And you realize there's a chest with 1,000 gold sitting in it.
Well, 500 gold now.
Yeah.
Actually, more like 450 if we count the extra 50 we had to pay.
Yes.
And if you want to go for an extra assorted cushionry, that's just 2 silver. Just to pad things out and make the furniture uncomfortable for any guy. But it looks pretty.
I think we have around. I think we have around 3,100 gold now.
More than enough for a bed.
There's enough bed once we sell the shell.
Any other business?
No, not at the moment, I don't think. But thank you very much. You've been ever so kind.
And you've been very good customers. Thank you so much.
Madame, you look like a person of importance. Maybe you can help me out. Do you know where I could find one of the Monhaven retainers? I wish to pass on a message to them.
Well... The retainers,
I wish to get a message to them. We have something of interest. They may be interested in, and wishing to pass on.
Unfortunately, they don't
See if
deal
they'd
with...
be interested.
They don't deal with simple stores like ours. They deal directly with the craftsmen. You could try at one of the proper trade houses, or I've heard you see types like that at the bars. I'm too old to enjoy a night like that there. I'm sorry I can't...
You jest.
Oh, you silly little scale man. No, I assure you I'm quite decrepit, but I'm doing it gracefully, I feel. And she gives us a little flick of incredibly thin, brittle grey hair. But, you know, not bad. Still a solid 5. If you're into that. Thank you so much for the compliment. Alright. What are you guys up to?
Well, I think at this. Well, I'm probably gonna ask. Well, so that's sorted out. So, what are you people up to?
I have a lunch date, and you might want to look for jobs we might be able to take. Because we certainly aren't earning much coin over the past few days.
Ah, you're spending it, though.
I do think what we'll probably want to do is, after Cornelius and I am done with the library, we can see about looking up that retainer that'll be able to help get us selling that shell.
I mean, it's a bit early to be hitting up the pubs anyway.
Yeah. That's going to be probably the first priority, I think. Because that also gets us into the noble quarter, and then we can start asking our questions there.
Well, personally, with the library, I think we should start at the smaller school and work our way up. Because I kind of want to have an idea about the relatively recent history of this area.
Well, do keep your eyes and ears open for any word.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
Oh, and if you would like to help out, I will be going out to try and take care of the twig blight problem. I lower my voice at this so that other people, I don't startle anyone. And we would certainly appreciate aid with such.
What do you mean? You mean we travel out to deal with it, or what? In what regard do you want me to help?
Yes, there's a problem with them in the local area, and I would like to help the local druids with it.
All right. Well, we'll get around to that, I'm guessing.
Ah, very good.
I can only picture him fucking like bending his knee slightly and quailing. She says this. But as she says druid, he just hears dirt wizard.
Well, I look at Zarzul. Where are you going to be heading after this, Zarzul?
The bar!
No, I haven't considered the bar yet. I was wondering about. I could look for some armor for Wolfgang. Go see the Fuggle Clumps about a possible new hat.
Or a whole suit.
The suit is possible, but I have a feeling if I blew 1,500 gold on a suit, the bar would kill me.
I just spent 250 on a fucking desk.
Hey,
Yeah,
at least I can take a suit with me.
The question
This is going to
is,
be a problem when we live.
you could get the money without them noticing. You're sneaky, right?
The problem is I have to get into Cornelius's pants to get the money.
It's like a
No, no,
4-hour
it's-
process.
You remember there's a chest.
The
But
chest
Gagne
doesn't
was-
have that much in it.
You don't know. You don't know what the price is.
You haven't seen the party funds for a while.
Well, the suggestion Rain's going to have is Cornelius give all of the cutlery to Zarzul to take back until he figures out what he's going to do. And warn Droop that there might be a delivery before we get back. So he shouldn't magic missile anybody who walks through the door.
Or knock at the very least.
Yeah. If they say they're delivering furniture, let them in.
Is that alright with you, Sarsul, or are you going in another direction?
I was going to check out the tannery area first.
I mean, it's only a bag of bowls. You can carry that easily enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's also Sarsul.
The only problem is you might need to ask for an allowance.
I've got a few gold on me, but basically broke.
I mean, you're aware that dog armor is something, but it is a little bit premium. Like, I'm not going to do the thing where it's for mounts worth 3 times the price, but, you know, there's still a little cost involved.
Yeah, it's custom.
Yeah, and I probably need to actually get Wolfgang there to do measurements. Oh, maybe another day.
Well, if you want to do that, you can go get Wolfgang and then bring him out.
No, I
Two
can
birds
fill
with
up-
one stone.
that way I can pick up the gold from the house
Yeah.
instead of trying to get into Cornelius' pants here.
It's probably not that hard. Just get him a few wines.
Yeah.
Alright, so webgun set. Well, Zarzul is set.
Yep. Off back to the house.
As you pass by the market, some of them are starting to shut up, and you do see a little gaggle of kobolds again, but this time there's an air of refinement about them. They're not, wearing just a vest and shorts, some of them just usually in shorts, but you do see they are in full regalia. They are fancy kobolds in suits, tails, and a few in full dresses. A few with parasols and dresses as well. As they're just sort of stepping around, perusing the market. I heard that dice deciding what you do.
That wasn't me.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna there? No, I've got hat. I don't need. Is there any place selling kobold type clothing?
Not in the open markets, but you do know that there's, tailors and fabric workers. You did pass by them, so remember this little ring was sort of more of a sort of seamstress types.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah.
nice to see
Um,
a few of your kobold brethren that have come up in the world.
I might come back to that area later. I think I could do with a slightly tidier set of clothes for the city. Especially if we're going to try and meet in more interesting circles.
And so you continue onwards.
Yep, back to our home, such as it is.
I mean, it's a nice big building. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Of course, you realize it's got nothing in it and there's still the hole in the roof, but hey. And as you're walking back, there is a great march coming in from the gates. And again, the clatter of hammers and wood as the barricades are being put up again. There's a fair bit less than what you remembered hearing. Like, there's a smaller din of plated boots and levers and clanking weapons. Especially a lot less horses. A lot more men are sort of walking than riding. And they look like they've been through a fair bit. There's blood, there's there's wounded being carried along.
Is it obvious what type of things they were fighting? Are they sword cuts and that sort of thing, or is this more?
Give me a perception. You're recognizing a lot of axe blows, a lot of sort of stabs from javelins. You're not seeing, fletching from arrows or anything. Weapons generally look big, but there's some other stuff that you're just not really sure on. There are men who look like they've been broken. There are limbs that are just pointing the wrong ways. There are guys who are just not there from the knee down. Some are just clutching at stumps, and you're not really sure what did that, but it looks like whatever it was big and nasty. There's definitely claws that look like they came from something bigger than, say, a manticore.
Oh dear.
But you're not seeing any of the manticore spikes or anything like that there. You're not seeing you're not seeing as if they're stuck by needle blight twigs or anything.
And probably not seeing any of the. They had killed a large beast that was impressive. They haven't brought anything back from.
Yeah, there's no trophies being brought back on record. Ugh. Keep on hiccup. I keep on forgetting how to say this. Reliquaries? Reliquaries? I think reliquaries is the one. Yeah, you don't see anything like that there being brought out. But there are some pages and various sort of squires and all, and just men in basic armor that look like they've just been promoted from town guard up onto frontline duty. And they're bringing some tusks with them. They're bringing some ears and heads. A few are just waving big bloody axes. But there's not a huge amount of victory in the feeling of it.
More survived.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that. Yeah.
But you are noticing a mix of predominantly blue tabards and a handful of pink. For about every 10 blues, there's one pink.
Okay.
And yeah, you're almost stepped on as some of the clattering priests come past, and some of the warriors in both vestments and armor start to work for medical talents as quickly as they can. But they're not paying you much mind. They're not paying the people much mind. They're fixing.
Okay. I shall continue on my way home thinking about this.
I suppose the other three of you would have seen like a procession of nuns, acolytes, initiates, just all passing you by in a great sort of convoy. And yeah, you get home. It's still intact. The door is still closed. There's no sign of any new scorch marks or craters.
Okay, I knock and say, "Hello, friend.
Oh, I know that one.
Are you there?"
I am. Hang on. Pufflesworth, get off me. Get off. Get off. Hang on. It'll be a minute. You hear sort of weird growl chirps and something small being dragged across the ground. There's a clatter of metal as the key is put in and then pulled out, and you see Droop collapsing back onto the floor. Puffleworth is just resting on him. Hello, friend.
Hello, Droop. Had an interesting time while I was gone.
Oh, we were playing, but he wants to get out, and he doesn't like being indoors all that long.
Yes, it is understandable. Oh well, hopefully not too far away. Rain will be back.
Yeah, and as you look up, you can see Wolfgang is sitting on the balcony of the second floor, just looking down at you. Just it looks like he's been sleeping for most of the day.
Fair enough. I have brought dishes back. More furniture arriving later.
Oh, good. I can start doing things then.
Yep.
I'll take those. Don't you worry. That's my job. I'll take these here. And it looks like he's weighed down a lot by them, but he does head off. I'll put these in the kitchen, and then I'll get that tidied up. Oh, lock the door for me, please.
Okay. I take. Has Droop left me the key, or is that you?
Yeah, it's still in the lock.
Okay, I lock the door and take the key.
It's just as he comes back after clattering the bowls and all down gently. Of course, he doesn't just shatter them. There you go. It's just I have to keep an eye on this place, and if I'm not here to see anything, then anything can sneak in.
Yep. I hand the key back to Droop.
Thank you. Did you have a good day?
Yes, it's been interesting. We'll see how it turns out from here.
Is it a nice town?
It appears. Yeah, no one's thrown rocks at me today, so definite plus. Very interesting place. Anyway, let us get to work.
Oh, what are we doing?
Just, I'm going to try and take care of Pufflesworth for a while, so you don't get interrupted in the kitchen.
Oh, well, there's nothing to work on yet. Nothing's okay. I'll just clean the bowls.
Oh, unless you want to go out and see the horses.
I was told to watch the house and the wagon, and I'm doing all that.
Okay, I'll go take care of the horses then.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go out and check on the horses, give them a good brush down.
They seem a bit lonely, but other than that, they're fine.
Yeah, make sure their water's fine and they've got enough feed.
Yeah. You can tell that the neighbor's been helping out a bit.
Excellent.
Although no sign of him smoking at the moment.
Okay. I think that's about it. Now I'm gonna just go back and sit down in a corner and examine this new dragon scale I've been got my hands on.
Give me your religion roll. This looks like the real deal. You risk giving it a little bend just to check the materials and all. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's a proper dragon scale, but it feels like it's a proper representation. It feels like this was made with care, and it's not just some shill artist throwing stuff around for a quick couple of coin. This feels like this has a bit of history to it.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic and check on it.
It does glow.
Okay, interesting. What type of magic is it?
I think it's necromancy. Hang on. I just need to double check.
Necromancy? That sounds odd.
Well, don't forget healing is necromancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Once a day, it'll let you cast Spare the Dying.
I wouldn't have gone that, but yeah.
You know, as a sign of mercy. But that's all it has. It's just very simple. But at the bright side, its enchantment has kept it in good condition. Because the chain itself looked like it's been replaced.
Okay. Oh well, I now have Spare the Dying that I don't know about. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I mean, it's not attunement or anything. I figure you just sort of, you feel it's low, it's sort of weak. Maybe you just sort of think about it for a moment. It's a divine object, because that's what attunement is as well. Usually, you're thinking about it a lot, trying it out, practicing. And it's simple enough, and you think, yeah, this would work to help spare someone. But it is a very weak enchantment. It's very old. You can tell that at least it is very old.
Okay. Okay. It's all good. Oh, going to go down to the. Did we clean out the cellar fully, or is that's a little bit grungy down there?
Yeah, Droop's been doing some cleaning as well, and you spent most of the day yesterday cleaning stuff out.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty tidy. Still got a bit of a musty smell to it.
Oh well, I'm going to grab some gold out of our chest here. And
Cornelius, did you lock the chest?
I don't think
Did
we
we-
even have a key for it.
We don't have a key for this
Nope.
chest. It was picked open. We've never done a thing about it afterwards.
I mean, Siegfried does have a bunch of keys, I think. And he hasn't used them at all. But yeah. Alright, you fling it open.
Right.
Yeah. Check on it and
It's
Grab
not enough for a suit, you know that at a glance.
I knew that already. But I'm gonna take care of getting Wolfgang maybe another point of armor. Take Wolfgang off to the Tanner's area.
Alrighty, let's jump from Zarzul to... Who's ready for one of their things?
I do remind Droop on the way out that there's going to be some people dropping off furniture.
Okay. What will I do there? Okay, I'll work something out.
Just open the door and let them in. It'll be fine.
Whew, okay. Okay.
Just take it easy, Droop.
Did you save as he skitters back, makes a stool, hops up and checks out the back window to see if the wagon and the shell are still there?
Okay. I head out with Wolfgang towards the Tanner area.
Have a good day! Alrighty. Let's see, Castalia.
All right.
It is getting close to the time. How are you waiting? How are you killing a bit of time?
Well, likely making my way over to where
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be.
As you're doing so, you get to see the full convoy coming out of the temples and the hospital, moving on past you in a great march. Although you do see that there's some around the slum wall. They look expectant, as if they should be joining in, but then they get a few words quietly from other people, and they just continue patrolling back and forth. And there's a fair bit of distress from the general people who just watch this happening. You know, it's like seeing an ambulance hurtle past on the road. A lot of rubbernecking. Some people actually have sympathy. And as you look at the form of the foam-crowned hammer, it looks nice. You know, it's not... It doesn't seem to have that full warmness that the Welcome Dawn is, but it looks like it's a drinking establishment for adults. There is a very large replica hammer forged up there. A lot of foam on it that's been sculpted into the iron.
Hmm.
Looks like a giant can swing it around. And the crowd you see going in are just look like normal residents. You're not seeing a lot of the mercenary crowd that are peeking in.
Hmm.
The sun gets to its highest. Are you going in or just waiting outside?
I'm going in.
As you step in, you see a strange thing. It's a fairly broad elf. He looks like he's had quite a few meals today, and probably had a few the day before and the day before that.
Hmm.
His ears have been sort of tied back as well behind his head, with a bit of red string that dangles a bit, in what he probably thinks is a fashion statement that could catch on. Ah, new face. Welcome.
Thank you.
What can I be doing you for?
Oh, I'm here to meet someone.
Ah, well, a lot of people are doing that. Do you want any tips? I can tell you who's handy around the town.
No, I'm pretty sure he knows me.
Oh, right, it's an arranged thing. Well,
Yeah.
just in the off chance though, don't go with Farzul there. As he points, and there's a pretty shady looking tiefling. He is a deeper red than you are. He is always moving those golden eyes about. And he's also, while still flicking about, he has a dagger. And he's just doing the knife game, but he's only doing it between the thumb. Yeah. He tries to look tough, but he's just making a fucking shit work of my tables. It's alright, I'll charge him later.
No,
So, will you be needing a table, or are you two happy by the bar?
I'm not certain yet.
Alrighty, I'll get you one to start then.
Thank you.
What's the lady having then? Oh, sorry. Would you like an ale, mead, wine? Maybe
No, not
no?
quite yet.
I do you water, but you seem to have your own supply.
A water would be good. Thank you.
Alright, something fresh. Hang about then. As he reaches down, pulls it, and then you see a little flicker of magic coming from his fingertips, and what was sort of brownish becomes properly clear. There you go. Give you slide a copper coin, I'll maybe have a refill for you.
Hmm.
So, who's you meeting?
Robert.
Robert. No, a couple of those. Let's
Robert
see.
Melwitz.
Oh, you're taking fun out of it. I was going to guess. Melwitz. Aye, all tall, green, and handsome. Aye.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. This is about time you come in. Apparently, though, they had had a bit of a Barney outside the front gate. Did you hear about that?
No? No, I hadn't.
Oh yeah, about 2 days ago. There was this big, ridiculous storm. Apparently, some travellers had all sorted out, like proper weird sort of hero types. We get
Oh,
reputation.
I thought you meant something had happened recently.
It was recently. It's only 2 days ago. Give me a break. I try to get the hottest word I can.
I meant more recently.
Oh, more recently. Well, let me have a think now. I mean, there was a big scrap out in the west. Mind you, there's one of those like a couple of times each week.
Hmm.
Then, of course, there's the Owl Fence. You probably saw that. You know, out as he sort of gestures with his head in the direction of where the slum is. Oop.
Hmm.
Oh, hang on. Fucking phone call.
I was concerned that was me for a second.
Oh, I also said the car was amazing. I was suddenly feeling very nauseous. I'm gonna need to lie down for a bit, but it feels like Castalia probably is going to have a lot here now in the last half hour anyway. sent a message to Corvus about it. But I didn't want to interrupt it in the middle of him describing. Just gonna be jumping off here and lay down if that's alright with you people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Enjoy the rest of the session. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, I was just like, ugh. Feel very.
We've all
nauseous,
been
don't know
there.
why. Yeah, but I also last week, so that's what really annoys me. I haven't even been drinking really. So yeah, it's a bit nauseous. But yeah, have fun for the rest of the session. I'm gonna be puffing off, laying down.
All right, sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, where do we leave off? Oh, yes, he was gesturing at the fences and all. Oh, would you like something a bit more sort of gossipy?
Oh, certainly.
All right, well, you've probably seen him about, the one with the tall hat, little kobold.
Yes.
He's having a wedding in 2 weeks.
You don't say.
Now, here's the thing, though. It's for his 4th husband.
Ooh.
Now, you're new here, aren't you?
Yes, we just arrived 2 days ago.
Here's the thing. He's had 7 wives and 3 husbands so far. We're reckoning he just thinks this a wedding is an excuse for a good party. And then we got some... What else we got here? So you're still just sticking with the water, eh?
Yes, but I slide over the copper.
You wouldn't fancy a nice red? For yourself, a nice red?
No, thank you.
Alright, what else we got here? I mean, they don't come all the time to here, but if you come back tomorrow, I've heard a wee shufty that a couple of the reps will be down from a noble cause. I don't know who they're with or anything, but I just know that they show up, talk to a few who are a little bit, you don't mind me saying this, eccentric looking? So if you want to rub elbows, have a nice little meal for free, might be a fun way to enjoy a night. Although, knowing Robert, you'll probably find another way to enjoy. I'm only joking. I've never actually seen him with anyone here. Then again, I've seen him some nights when he's not been here. And anything you're interested in, you want to hear about? You do you a bit, because it seems like your date stood you up. It's only it's only slightly past noon and he's rushing this.
Well, what have you heard about that incident 2 days ago?
What the hell was a bunch of weirdens with antlers and stuff stuck in their heads. Typical bloody alchemists.
Oh.
Yeah, it's them northern lot.
Are they a problem?
Oh, yeah, I mean, a bit of a time. They used to just do, the old bandit thing. Hit up the caravans, annoy travellers, be a bit of a dick. Never came near the city, though. Because they're just, stick throwers, spear chuckers. Ain't got a clue about what they're doing in life. Because they ain't civilized, right? You're looking at me like you haven't got much of an idea what I'm talking about.
I'm assuming you mean what elves?
Oh, no, I'm not saying like it's because of a race or anything. I'm saying like because of where they are. Like, alchemy up there, that's a shithole, that is. Like, they had a war with us, we won big, and now they're down to sticks and stones, and they try to break bones, you know?
Hmm.
And they keep on trying, but, just a bunch of savages, a lot of them.
Hmm.
Although, like I said, it's a bit weird coming with big magic and all. They didn't really have that. Don't remember anything like that. Then again, maybe a couple of the green folk fucking went against us. There was this big new logging project and all, and apparently they had a bit of a barney with the king. The king we had, not the one we don't currently have.
Hmm.
And he continues to talk. Oh, go on.
And who dispatched these elves?
There was, like I was saying, a bunch of adventure folk, like heroes. I mean, Raxis is full of heroes. We get them all the time, every couple of generations. Like you heard of Ermon, right? That he drank in this pub. This was his favorite place to come back to. He did it, and you know what? He did it 3 times. He came back here and had a drink 3 times during the war. Different war. This one was against big nasty creatures. There was all kinds of horrible things. There was this big 3-headed thing. What do you call them? A chimera. Shiny fucker. Then we also had this big, bloody, awful dragon. Massive wings. This thing was horrendous. Might have been the mastermind, I'm not sure, but apparently they fought that thing, sawed off, and it was a big, bloody bugger. Apparently one of the houses still has a bit of them. Then there was also these just horrible things. Apparently, like, that's why alchemy is even more of a shithole. So, like, we had the Barney with them, then the monsters came in, and once Ermon and his lot killed them all, and of course our proud knights, hey, ain't that right, lads? And there's a clattering of hey from like a handful of people in the bar. But then, army scatters, troops settle down, even though we're monsters and freaks and weirdos and all, they stick in Alchemia, but we hadn't seen any of them. Maybe they've just run out of things to eat. But yeah, it was a pack of adventurers. Apparently didn't really say much. I've heard a few people joke that it might have been the Heroes of Fandalen. But, I mean, have you seen that show? That's fucking great, that is.
I have.
I had to close up on the first night to see it. I got a mate that works at the bar there, you see. And he was telling me this thing was going to be ridiculous, and he was not wrong. Can you believe that? Can you believe that Kelvin character? What a fool. But
well, they did do good.
They did. Oh, it's a good little story for the kids. I don't think anything like that actually happened, but if it were Raxian, they probably did. Don't think any of them were local though. Bunch of coasters. You know what to say about the sword coasters, eh? They just coast along. But let's see. What can I remember about? I mean, there was calling them the actors, and they said they were just the characters themselves. They talked about this. Nah, it can't be, can it? Big smile on his face as he looks you over.
Mm-hmm.
They said there was a tiefling girl that was a bit trippy.
No. Really?
You've been having me on, haven't you? It was you.
Yes.
Alright then. And he flicks the copper coin back. There you go then, on the house.
Thank you.
As you enjoy your glass of water. Oh, that was a rip, Stormy. You have to tell me that one.
Well, I have a few others I can share.
Oh, I am all ears right now. Hang on a mate. He just tells another patron to give him a second. And yeah, what sort of things do you tell him?
Well, let's see. I would definitely tell if Cedar no.
Mm-hmm. He's well interested in that one. That's a bloody
Well,
corker, that is. You
It
just
is
show
our
up.
best story.
You just show up everywhere and be big damn bloody heroes, eh? You telling me you took on a necromancer and an Hydra, eh?
Yes.
And had all those heads.
Oh. And the worst part is, after one fell, two more would grow in its place.
Oh yeah, I've heard that bit, but man, that's a
Oh,
lot of
it's
heads.
true? Oh, absolutely.
And you're saying it was given birth in the battle?
Yes, that was a creation of one of our wizards.
Oh, you travel with wizards, do you? Oh, you're lucky you're still going.
They're both good wizards, and they're good people. I trust them quite heavily.
Huh. It's a surprise to hear wizards talk like that. They're not a very popular topic around here. You know, we ain't actually had one for about 300. Most places have like a court wizard and all, but then they usually get the ambition, they get the drive. Fireball happens, a crown gets very hot, you know. So we just sort of did away with that. But man, that is impressive. Tell you what, you get another one on the house. And he just slides a glass of water to you.
Thank you.
But you're noticing as you continue to tell him a few bits and pieces, time passes, the sun moves a little bit more, the crowd shifts, and there is no sign of Robert.
Hmm. Do you have the time, sir?
I've got a close approximation of it. Let me have a think here. A little flick of his fingers and a small coloured orb comes up. I'd say you've got yourself about 3 hours till dinner time. We've been talking a fair bit, I must say.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're looking at about sort of 2 p.m. or so.
I guess he isn't coming after all.
Oh, right. I should have been keeping an eye out for him, I suppose. Then again, you're at the bar here, and you're a pretty eye-catching anyway. Yeah, I guess not. I mean, he does work the front gates. You could always ask there.
That's a very good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And hey, anytime you come in, I'll give you a free drink. The same as usual, of course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. You got a name before I can tell this story?
Castalia.
Castalia. Right. Okay, got it in the head. No worries.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Feel free to bring your mates. You can talk up the stories all you want. You might get a drink from the benefits of one of these charming folks. And he makes sure to point at the most sour-faced looking bastard sitting there. Someone who has been sitting with their one pint for the whole evening and protecting it with an arm.
I'll let them know.
Excellent, excellent. Remember, heroes drink at the Foam Crown Hammer. And you lot sound like a bunch of them. Have yourselves a good one.
Thank you. Have yourself a good day. And
And
with that, I'll leave the foam hammer and make my way to the city gates.
yep. And with that, I think we're going to end the session a little bit early.
Alright.
But we're at a nice stopping point, I feel. Plus
Yes,
Scotch
we
had
are.
plus Scotch had to lay down for a bit.
Yeah.
And we're down our rogue. He might be wanting to do things now, but we're getting slightly further in the day. But yes. We won't be back next week. Possibly. Maybe with a one-shot, but I think we'll take a break from Raxis next week. Because we're down a player anyway. We've got that confirmed. Botch might still be dead. Because he's got whatever's going around.
Yep.
And we'll reconvene the fortnight. But again, I might plan on a one-shot, and I'll tell you guys middle of a week or so. Alright. sorry now to kill the stream, but we'll be back sometime, specifically, possibly a fortnight, maybe next week, we don't know, with Rescue at Raxis.